Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. So I'm back with another quick video giving you some news you can use concerning the heavyweight division. My man Cassius Chaney was in action yesterday against Chauncey Welliver. This was a one-sided fight. I will leave the fight down low in the comment section. You can click it, watch it, come to your own surmise about it, man. But Chaney got the job done in the fourth round. The ref stepped in, called a halt to the action. It looked like in the third round that Welliver was complaining about his right elbow. Well, he was, not that he was looking like it. He was complaining about his right elbow. I'm not sure what was wrong with it. But even before that, man, he couldn't muster any offense. It was pretty much strictly defense for him. The gap in talent showed from the first second of the fight, man. Chaney went in there. He was putting his hands together, using his jab, didn't rush anything. He was finding a home for that uppercut because Welliver was going old school George Foreman with the crossbar defense with his arms. He was trying to sustain shots like that, but he couldn't muster any offense. And when he did throw some offense, it was pretty much because Chaney just allowed it by getting close to him. And then Welliver would try to throw, double left hooks to the body, then come upstairs with a left hook and try to throw overhands when he was in close. But the punches that did land, they did much of nothing. Chaney was able to work him from the outside. He was putting his punches together. And it's kind of hard to just blow somebody out, man, that's one, experienced of, I think Welliver has close to 80 fights, if not more than 80 fights. He's an experienced guy, knows how to survive. And when you got a guy in there that has all that and the experience, when they want to just survive and that's it, it's hard to knock that type of guy out. And I've spoken to a few boxers about that, man. They told me that it's really hard trying to get guys out of there that just want to survive and have good chins and experience. All right. But yeah, man, as far as the actual what happened in the fight, pretty easy fight to score downhill. But just looking at the weight, though, I couldn't believe how much weight Chauncey Welliver came into the ring weighing. He was 378 pounds. And I was curious to see, man, because Cassius came in at his career high of 263. Now he's 6'6", so it's not going to show as much. But I was still looking at that 263, being that the last few years here, the last 4 or 5 years, Cassius comes in between like 240 and 250. I think as high as like 254, somewhere around there. But this 263, I was kind of looking at it, but Chauncey Welliver wasn't the right type of opponent to double back for us as fans and check to see if that was going to hinder Cassius. But he, did what he had to do in this fight, man, and didn't really see much of a drop off even with the 263. But again, didn't have the right type of opponent in there to test to see if it would have been a problem. But he took care of business. Didn't seem like he had to go in a second gear at all, Cassius, in this fight to get this victory. He was working to the body. It was kind of funny watching him work the body because it was, Welliver, like I said, came in at 378 pounds, so he had a lot around his waist to hit. But he was touching him upstairs, downstairs, blinding him with shots, couldn't do anything. But yeah, 378, and Cassius came in at 263. That's 115 pounds. So he outweighed him by literally a whole damn super flyweight. You know what I'm saying? And over the years, we've seen guys come in well over 300 pounds. Guys like Ustinov and Jarrell Miller, and some years ago, Nikolai Valuev would come in around 305, 307. Jarrell, we've seen him up to 320. But this 378 was crazy by Chauncey Welliver. He actually outdid his previous career high of, I believe he was like 350 pounds previously in another fight. But I remember his fights against Ustinov. Then he had a fight against Lucas Brown where he was just barely over 300. So this 378 was crazy, man. But as far as what I want to see from Cassius Chaney, man, he improves to 19-0. Would like to see him get in there, and it takes two to tangle, right? I hear a lot of you fans come to the comments. You guys say, I want to see him step up. I want to see him step up. Well, it also takes two to tangle. I got to get somebody in there that wants to get in there with him. Not to say that people are running scared from him, but usually when you're an unknown commodity like this, when you're 19-0, 18-0, people don't really know who you are. Some fighters are reluctant to get in there with you. Not so much that they're scared of you. It's just that they're looking at it like, hey, what do I get fighting a guy like Cassius Chaney? If he gets the upset victory over me, he catapults. If I lose to him, people gonna say I'm washed up, all right? And this usually type of situations these guys get in. That's why sometimes guys that are in Cassius Chaney position, they got to get in there with each other. Daniel Dubois got to get in there with Nathan Gorman. Shit, AJ had to get in there with Dillian White once upon a time when they were up and coming and undefeated. So maybe Cassius may have to get in there with a guy like Darmani Rock or Stephen Shaw or a Jermaine Franklin or a Frank Sanchez. I would love to see those type of fights for him. Shit, I think he would love to be in a type of fight like that as well. Or maybe he can catch one of the guys that are coming back, guys that have had title shots that are trying to make their way back after suffering their last fight was a loss. Maybe a guy like a Gerald Washington or Dominic Brazil or Brian Jennings or maybe an Oscar Rivas, somebody like that. So I would love to see him if he fights the Rivas, Jennings, Brazil crowd. I would love that. If he fights the Shaw, Rock, Sanchez, Franklin crowd, I would love that. Maybe even a guy like Otto Wallen. I think Otto Wallen is still trying to get fights and prove that his showing against Tyson Fury, although a loss, wasn't a fluke, and he's still trying to build his reputation. I see a guy like Otto Wallen would probably take a fight like this. He just fought Travis Kaufman a few weeks ago. Maybe a guy like Ajay Kabayel. Anybody in the top 15 ranking would be a good fight for Cassius Chaney, man. So hopefully we see Cassius in there with a name, somebody that I was just talking about. Maybe try to get one of the Olympians from 2016, Herkovic or Yoka. I know Joyce is going to fight Dubois. Dubois has a fight tonight against Schneiders. Maybe a Daichko or get a Jagba in the ring or something like that, man. But we definitely want to see my man Cassius Chaney in there with somebody of significance, man. So we will see what happens. Go ahead and check the fight out. Be in the comments section. Till next time, I'm gone.